I think it was the philosopher Seneca who said, it's not that we have less time, it's that we waste time. If you're a business owner that feels that, hey Gulraj, I simply don't have enough time in a given day to do all the things that need to be done, then this video is for you. I am Gulraj Shahpuri. I'm a business coach and a leadership trainer, and I've helped more than 50,000 people in how to manage themselves better. And today, together, we're gonna figure out where your time is being wasted. Now, in case you're thinking, hey, how can you say that I waste time? You don't even know me. Then let me ask you, why are you still here? The truth is that all of us, the best of us and the worst of us, are all guilty of at least some degree of time waste. And if you're watching this video, you probably also have that guilty feeling, and you're probably thinking, you know, something has to change. Don't worry. We're going to do it together. You see, it's not really your fault. The human brain wasn't even designed for the type of existence we lead. We have lived in caves for hundreds of thousands of years, and our typical workday used to only be 2 or 3 hours, and we actually had an existence much like dogs of nowadays, where we would wake up, eat well, and then spend time with our loved ones and go to sleep. 2 or 3 times a day we would do this. That cycle would repeat, and then the next day would start. That's what our brains are actually designed for. But in case you haven't noticed, we now live in a highly progressive society. Getting ahead, competition, money, keeping up with the Joneses, all of these things, our brains aren't even evolved for this just yet. But who's going to tell our brains that, look, we live in the real world. We don't have the luxury of making such excuses, because if we count on such excuses, we would actually be mediocre. And why settle for mediocre when extraordinary is an option? So we're going to put 2 minutes on the clock, and I'm going to tell you extraordinary ways how you can make the most of your days. Now, the first technique is what author and time management guru Cal Newport calls time blocking. Now, we kind of suspect and we know how long a task is going to take. Let's say a task is going to take half an hour. Now, my friend Sanjeev Jain and I came up with a different term. We call it calendar management. So you go ahead and put that task and all the other tasks that you have that you know how long they're going to take. You throw them in a calendar as per the times you want. And whatever you're doing otherwise, when it's time to do that task, you drop other stuff and you do that task according to your calendar. You're going to be surprised how much you're going to get done in a day, and you're going to wonder, my God, I actually had a lot of time. Now, number 2 is always work from a list. Now, there's a saying, successful people work from lists and unsuccessful people don't. It's so true that you have to always write things down in a to-do list and write an estimated time next to that. I always work in 5-minute increments, that if something's going to take 2 minutes, I'll say 5 minutes. If it's going to take 8 minutes, I'll say 10 minutes. Always work in 5-minute increments, and you'll be surprised how much you're going to get done. Now, what is the best to-do list method? Whatever works for you. If it's on a phone, if it's on a laptop, if it's in Microsoft Word, if it's written on the wall, whatever works for you, your to-do list is the best type of to-do list for you. Now, number 3 is, if there are 8 working hours in a given day, you have to work in those 8 working hours. You can't be daydreaming. You can't start chasing things on the net, going down rabbit holes. If you're not working, every 15 or so minutes, ask yourself, hey, what am I doing now? What am I doing now? Back to work. Back to work. And you'll be surprised that you'll start motivating yourself to be a doer rather than a daydreamer. Number 4 is learn to say no to people. Do you ever realize that you start committing to things just because you don't know how to say no to people? Or is it that you don't have your own goals? You know the saying, if you don't have goals of your own, you're doomed to be working for other people's goals all your life. Make your own goals, write them somewhere and read them every single morning. You're going to prime your mind to say no to people because they're not going to be in line with things that you don't want to do. And if you have a hard time saying no to people, read the book called How to Say No Without Feeling Guilty. I'm going to put a link in the description below. Now, speaking of saying no, this takes us to number 5. Have you ever heard of the Stanford marshmallow study? This is where kids were given a marshmallow and told that you can eat this now, or if you don't eat this now and if you eat it after a while, we'll give you 2 of them. You have to start saying no to time stealers. Netflix, Amazon Prime, checking your social media feed over and over again, not being able to say no to your friends, video games. What is stealing your time? I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. Stop spending time on stress-relieving things, only spend time on goal-achieving things. Realize that media companies and social media companies are preying on you and all the time that they're stealing from you, and they're laughing all the way to the bank. Number 6 is organize tomorrow's to-do list tonight. Make sure your subconscious has a lot of time overnight when you're sleeping to dwell on it, and when you're gonna wake up in the morning, you'll be surprised how much energy you're gonna have to actually take on tomorrow. And last, now that you know how to say no to time stealers, go to sleep early tonight. Wake up extra early, do more before 8 a.m. than most others are doing all day long, and you're going to see there's a lot of time in the day. That's it, time's up. Now, what is the one thing that we all have in common, no matter how rich or poor anybody is, male or female, whatever race or ethnicity anybody is, that we all have exactly 24 hours in a day, not a second more, not a second less. And that is actually the great equalizer. Now, when all else is being held constant, the person that is able to use their 24 hours better than the other person is going to be more successful financially and otherwise in life, and you better believe it. In the comments below, let me know which of the techniques that resonated most with you and which one that you were already using that you're going to use a little bit more of. And in case you have a hard time saying no to people, make sure you get that book, How to Say No Without Feeling Guilty. I'm going to put that in the description below. Thanks for checking out this video. Do take a moment to press the like button if you got value from any of the techniques. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. You guys are awesome, and I love the awesome support you continue to give me. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.